All right, y'all. I'm gonna tackle these taters. I think they're ready. I found some other taters in the other bed that I missed. And when I got these, I was like, you know what? Let's go check on the other ones. And I think these are ready. So we're gonna set our little bucket up and get started. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness. I see taters on this side over here. Let's go look at this real quick. Look at that. That looks good. Got little baby ones popping through. Look at that. Ooh, that one rotted. Something got into it. Stinking bugs. Yeah, there's some rotted ones in here. That one's going to seed already. That might be all she wrote. Yep. And I'm going to leave some of these little ones like this in here and see if they just they grow back. All right. Look at that one. All right, here we go. Nice little harvest. Hey y'all, so it is getting late summer, going into early fall, and this is the time of year that I need to think about. The chickens are going to be slowing down on their egg production, so sometimes they'll stop laying altogether because there's not enough sunlight throughout the day. So I can put a light on in their coop to extend the daylight hours for a couple hours every evening through the winter months, but I don't want to do that. I want them to have a little break through the winter. So instead of doing the light in their coop, I'm going to preserve some of the extra eggs that we have now by a method called water glassing. So let's feed the girls, get them distracted, and then we'll get some eggs and start this process. Hi, girls. Oh, looks like y'all are losing feathers. That means it's molting season. Are we going through a molt? Huh? That will cause you to stop laying eggs too. There you go. The garden. So while they're distracted, come in here and get some eggs. I've got some broody girls trying to hatch babies. And I got some girls that won't stop laying in the floor. But you need to have the cleanest eggs possible whenever you're going to water glass them. These are perfect clean eggs. You don't want dirty ones, muddy ones, that's not good. And you don't want to rinse or wash these off either. So these all look like perfectly clean eggs for water glassing. That one's a little dirty. I might not use that one. See that? That one too. If I can't scrape them clean a little bit, we won't use them. You don't want nothing to contaminate the whole jar of water glassed eggs. All right. Don't you dare come out this door, Carlos. Or no, you're Doug. You got the floppy comb. Doug tried to escape on me. All right. We got some pretty good eggs. Come on, guys. Okay, so to make water glassed eggs, I like to use eggs that are, I like to use them no older than 3 days old after being laid. They say up to 5 days, I think, but you also want them to be clean, nothing, no mud and stuff on them. So I found the cleanest eggs I could. Do not wash these eggs. They need to be fresh laid, unwashed. So you use this stuff right here. Make sure it says pickling lime, not pickling salt, pickling lime. And what you do is you put, I have my little scale here. I've got 1 ounce of pickling lime, and I've got a quart of water. I already started to put some water in there with a little bit of lime, and I was like, oh wait, I need to do this on camera. So we'll pour this in. Give it a stir. And the stuff kind of gets everywhere, the powder does. And the water that you use, don't use fresh out of the tap. You can either boil water to get the chlorine and stuff out of it, or I just put water in a pot and like this, and just leave it sitting out for 24 hours or so, and let everything kind of evaporate out of it. So you take your clean eggs that you want to water glass and put them, try to put them like pointy side down and in your solution. Got some bigger eggs right here, so I don't know. I may be able to fit a smaller one, but that looks like the majority of what I can fit in there, unless I can find a smaller egg. But basically this is all you do. Top it off, and then I have, hold on just a second. Okay, so I went back and found a smaller egg compared to what I had over here. So hopefully I can squeeze that one in there. Yes, and you want that completely submerged in the water. I got some of these lids to use. There we go. Put it on our jar and just secure these water glassed eggs in a dark place, like a cabinet or in a closet somewhere, and it should be good sometimes over a year, year and a half. So I plan on using these in the winter months when my girls are not laying eggs. So I'm thinking in terms of December, January, February, part of March. So if I can water glass enough of these eggs right now before they stop laying, I should have eggs through the winter when they're not laying that will be water glassed. And whenever you water glass eggs, the yolks will be more runny, but that's perfectly fine. You can scramble them up, cook with them, whatever. So I mean, they're just what I urge anytime that you are cracking an egg, do one egg at a time in a bowl to make sure it looks and smells fresh. So you can also do the floaty test. Put them in plain water if they're floating. They're not good, just toss it. But this should keep them preserved for throughout the winter months. So that's how you water glass eggs. Y'all, it is another day, and I was outside looking at some elderberries out here that's growing. I had put protection bags on them, and I went out there to check on them a second ago, and I realized some of them's ready to be cut off the plant. So let's go harvest some elderberries, and I'm going to freeze these for until I get enough to make a good batch of elderberry syrup. Okay, so here they are. You can see the berries have gotten plump and shiny and dark black. Let's find some in different phases. Like these have just turned. They're still purpley. They're not, and they're starting to swell, but not quite yet. I know there's some green ones over here we can take a look at. Yeah, right here. See how those are just turning and some are still green? The birds have already gotten some that's developed. That's why I've put some protective mesh bags over these, and I tested one down here. I gave it a squeeze and it popped, so I don't want to do that. But like this right here batch, they're dark and they're plump and juicy, so they're ready. The easiest way to do this is I'm going to cut the whole head off like that. Drop it in here. And these, let's see. Yeah, they're getting plump. And they're dark black. Ooh, I hear a bird over here or something. Or here's an example of some that still has green on there and light purple. These are not ready. These are all purple and plump, or not purple, but almost black and plump. So we'll take those. We have some over here that's not ready, and some here that is ready. Yep. So we'll cut this one off. We're getting ready to get a storm. I'm not trying to get this done before the rain comes through today. Let's go ahead and finish harvesting these, and then we'll take them in and freeze them. Okay, so we got us a nice batch of elderberries here. There's still some left on the tree. We'll come back and check it every day or two. But I'm going to take these in and find a place in the freezer to put them in and let them freeze for like an hour. And then I'll just simply take a fork and run it across that to separate the berries from the poisonous stems. Okay, it has been a couple of hours. I got distracted doing other things, so we've got our elderberries fresh out of the freezer. I can already hear some falling. Look at that. So we just take a fork with the frozen berries and just pop them off. Try not to get any kind of pieces of the stems in there. You do not want the stems. I'll probably just gently pop them off. So we'll get all these berries in the bowl, and then we'll be right back. Actually, I did want to kind of show something with the fork. They're just popping right off. The stems are very poisonous, so that's why it's very important that you don't get stems in here. After I get done harvesting these berries, I'm going to refreeze them again, and before I'm ready to process them, I am going to check again for any stems that might have came off and fell into the bowl. Whoop, they're flying. Okay, looks like we got a good little harvest. So I do want to say something too about when you make the elderberry syrup, which I'll have a video of that later on. It lasts a couple of months in the refrigerator. So what I might do is just, when it's starting, well, my kids just started back school. My youngins are back in school in the petri dish of germs. So we might just make up a batch, like 1 cup of berries batch at a time, and just leave the rest frozen. So I might go ahead and just measure out a cup, and I might not even have that many. This is my first year harvesting from that plant, so we'll see how many I end up with, and we'll do a video later on of how to make the elderberry syrup. Okay, so I ended up with 2.5 cups of berries. I don't want to spill them. Woo. So what I'm going to do is just put these, whoops, sorry about that. I'm just going to put these in Ziploc bags, and I'm going to freeze them until I'm ready. So I'm going to measure out, I'm going to measure out 1 cup and put it in the bag. And I know that that's a serving. So generally, let's see, let's get this in. So generally, you would take 1 cup of berries with about 1.5 cups or a cup of water. Boil that for at least an hour to boil out all the toxins out of that, the cyanide out of it. And then you can add in, as you're boiling it, you need to add in a teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and maybe 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of ginger, and let that boil for about an hour. Oh, you can add cloves in too. I've got whole cloves. I'm just going to put in maybe 3 whole cloves in that, and boil that for an hour. Boil all the toxic stuff out. When you're done, you need to strain your syrup. Strain it really good. You don't want no bits in there, no seeds, nothing like that. And then you mix in equal parts of honey, or if you don't want it too strong, you can add less honey. But don't add the honey in when it's boiling hot still. After you boil it and strain it, let the liquid set out for a little bit to cool down, but you want it warm enough that when you pour the honey in, it melts it, but not hot enough that the heat destroys the benefits of the honey. So really warm, like tea-like consistency, add in your honey, and then mix it up, and then you put it in a glass jar and store it in your refrigerator. It should last for up to a couple of months at a time. For preventative medicine, you take a teaspoon a day for children, not infants. Don't give this to little babies. And then a tablespoon a day for adults as a booster. Lord, I can't speak today. As an immune booster. So if you're sick, you do, for children, a teaspoon every 2 to 3 hours while they're sick, and for adults, a tablespoon every 2 to 3 hours when you're sick. But that's elderberries harvested. Can't wait to harvest some more.